Let's see what we can see. Sorry about that. Gotta wet my whistle. Sorry about that again. Hello? I thought it was time for a channel update because we haven't done a channel update, in forever. I think the last true channel update we did was after COVID, just to tell you where I'd been for a year. So we've probably done a little one since then, but there's no big news, but I felt I owed, especially subscribers and especially members, some kind of update because we're during the summer now. It's the summer months, and I am trying to do a video, and I just keep getting pushed back and pushed back. And the more members we get, actually, we lost a member this month, but we also gained a couple the month before. So that's kind of awesome. But the more subscribers and attention that we get, I just feel kind of responsible to keep people in the know. So that's what this video is meant for. If you're interested in what's coming up on the channel, what my intentions are, what we're trying to do, and what's going on behind the scenes a little bit, that's what this video is for. And this might be a members only video because I don't like to talk about family and private things out in the public. But so yeah, let's say this is going to be a members only video, at least for now. Maybe I'll make it public later if I can see my way clear. But lately, we have seen a lot of traffic on the channel, and it's been great. When I look at the analytics, what is actually happening is an old video, 2 old videos, got a crazy thousands upon thousands upon thousands of views bump over the last couple of months now. And it's still subsiding, but it's still kind of there. And it's on our videos on The Breadwinner, and which is a great movie, Cartoon Saloon. It's a little heavier than their other animated features. It's about a girl growing up in Afghanistan and all of that entails. And it's kind of divisive too. Most people love the video and love the film, and then some people hate the film for personal reasons of where they're coming from, and then some people love the reviews, and some people hate the reviews. And one person recently attacked me in the comments and called me all sorts of. It wasn't just that they were bad words. It was. He accused me of certain political affiliations and things that if you've watched this channel at all, I have, nothing to do with what this guy was calling me, and I won't go into it. But, when you're making videos and some of the material is even slightly political, you're going to ruffle some feathers. So that happened. I'm at a point with the channel where I don't let it bother me. I just say, oh, well, yeah. Somebody thinks they know you enough to hate you. So what are you going to do? And they're talking to themselves in the comments at this point. And that's just a feature. Anyway, The Breadwinner, I hope if you haven't seen it and you like animated features and a little more serious of a topic, that's a great one to watch. We got a tiny uptick on our short. I just threw this short together one day on Julian is a Mermaid, which is Cartoon Saloon, again, their upcoming feature. And it seems to have had maybe a troubled or at least a delayed production. And that is sure to ruffle some feathers, and it's kind of can't wait. That has to do with a boy who wants to be a mermaid. And of course, there's allusions to non-binary identification in that one, it seems. It's a children's book right now, and they're making it into a film, and it seems like they're having trouble getting it over the finish line. It looks like it might be a very beautiful, stylized film once all is said and done, but it's supposed to come out in 2026. And I actually was corresponding a bit with one of the companies that's subcontracted with Cartoon Saloon, and they thought, I got a hold of someone who thought I was maybe inside the production, and they told me that it wasn't coming out until, X date. And then they realized they had just spilled some beans to a random person on the internet, and then wrote me back and said, hey, please don't mention that. Please don't say anything. And I don't remember what they said, but it was the fact that it was delayed and it wasn't coming out for a while. And I think 2026 is supposed to be the year. So that is something to look forward to, and I'm looking forward to that. I'd like to do that on the channel. I might revisit, I don't know if I want to revisit The Breadwinner, because I think I've said everything I need to say about The Breadwinner. But when you get a video that's successful, and by all metrics, that is actually a successful video for anybody. It's got so many views. Let's take a look. My Breadwinner long form video has 56,000 views. That's not nothing compared to my last few that got like 10. That's not nothing. And then the shorts go crazy sometimes. They don't do anything for you. My short got 89,000 views so far. All of this organic. So that's awesome. Anyway, The Breadwinner has made us a few bucks. And this channel is barely monetized. I've gotten 2 payments since I got monetized over a year ago. Well over a year ago now. So this channel does not make money. So it's nice when you get a video that actually almost single-handedly generates the next payment. And you get a payment if you reach a threshold of $100. So this channel has made a total of about $200 since it's been up on YouTube. So why do I keep doing it? I don't know. You know why I keep doing it? Because sometimes I'll get a really nice comment. Sometimes I'll meet someone awesome. There's a guy named Rock Wilk who's making a movie. You should go check out his YouTube page, and then go check out his personal web page off of that. He's making a movie called Yo, This Is Sky, You Know What to Do. I think that's the title. I apologize if I'm wrong. And he's made a bunch of movies. He made his first movie, which won a bunch of awards during COVID. He made it on his phone. And really interesting, personal artist, poet, actor, now filmmaker, Rock Wilk. You should check him out and go to his GoFundMe and help him make this movie. Not for nothing. Go check him out. What else? All right, so what's going on with this channel? The school year will start, right? And I have a daughter, and she has a diagnosis that I won't get into here, but her school year and her life is not, the typical experience that many people are used to. If you have a kid, you have your day, right? They go off to school and you got your day. I don't quite have that. And I'm not complaining, but it's by way of explaining why sometimes the channel goes through cycles of having a bunch of videos come out and then nothing for a while. And I think it's only fair to tell you about that, especially people who are members, paying members, and you deserve to know. So, the school year will start, and I'll say, oh, okay, now I'm going to have 6 hours every day between drop-off and pickup to make videos. Awesome. And once in a while, there is a week like that. And that's when you start seeing more videos. But we also have a house, and, it needs work, and someone to take care of it. And so part of that 6 hours is that. And then quite often, and more often, my daughter can't stay the whole day. and I have to go get her. Or she can't get in there at all, and she's home. So that's just something that happens, and it comes with the territory. If you're, a parent with a kid with any kind of diagnosis, and you know what I mean, that's the job. So I don't get those 6 hours. I don't get 4 hours. I sometimes get 0 hours or 1 or 2 hours. And then you still have all the house taking care of business stuff to get done in there. So that's why we sometimes don't see a lot of videos coming out in rapid succession. And that's during the school year when you're supposed to have that time traditionally. Then during the summer, you're like, oh, well, the summer's here, but, I don't have to do the drop off and the pickup. So I'm not driving around like crazy. Sometimes she'll sleep late. Sometimes she'll be up, but she's very self-contained a lot of the time. But there's always things going on. There's always stuff to get done. And there's always, it's your kid. You can't just put him in a corner, right? You're there with your kid and you are interacting in your home and trying to give them a rich, full day of something, even if it's just of you being present. So, but it still limits you in what you can shoot. Like my daughter's at home right now. She's very content. She's reading. Oh my God, my daughter has started reading. We have been waiting for her to become more interested in reading. And in this day and age, I don't think it's a sure thing with video games and all the rest. And she is a gamer. But she started reading. And, at school she started reading books. But then she discovered fan fiction. And apparently there is fan fiction of every kid's topic. There's fan fiction. And you have to be careful and go through it and vet it for it being, legitimate and not a perversion of some beloved child story. But still, there's tons of it, tons and tons of it. And she is reading books. They're not books you can pick up at Barnes & Noble. They're books by fans, but I don't care. As long as they're not, full of filth, then, a book is a book is a book, within the bounds of sanity there. Would I rather that she was reading literature? Sure, but she'll get there. She's reading for hours and hours and hours and hours a day, and it's great. So that is a little ray of sunshine in terms of her being happy and doing something at least mentally healthy. And I can sneak down here and do something like this. What I've been trying to do lately is I just wrote a video on a movie called The Swimmer. Burt Lancaster, 1969 or something, I forget. But The Swimmer, Burt Lancaster, very strange film. It used to be one of those movies people would say, is not talked about enough. And now thousands of people have made that video about how The Swimmer is not talked about enough. So maybe it's talked about too much. But I thought it would be an interesting Dad After Dark. So I wrote this video, and it turned out to, I think the estimated runtime in my script writing for the rate of delivery I typically give is it's like a half-hour video. And to make a half-hour video, you don't just need a half hour. And to deliver a half-hour talk on a video, you don't just need a half hour. There's starts and stops. That looks good on the page, but it doesn't read well. I got to fix that. And all of these sorts of things when you make a video. And then there's the light setups and all the tech stuff that you got to sort of piece back together every time you make a video. Because it just sort of gets pulled apart and moved and all that. So I am not going to get a chance to make that video anytime this week, probably. She had a camp. That's the thing with Summer that I wanted to say, is that we did sign her up for a certain number of day camps. And this week she had a day camp. But for reasons that I won't go into, we got there. Today is Tuesday as I'm recording this. We got there yesterday and she couldn't stay. Had to take her home. Then we got there today. She couldn't stay. Had to take her home. So as the week progresses, it's more and more unlikely that she's going to go, because now there's the stigma of being the kid who's starting a 4-day camp on, Wednesday. You can't blame her for not wanting to be that kid. So I don't think she's going to this camp at all. So she's just going to be home this week. So the opportunities to do this sort of thing are pretty much close to that. So I have this half-hour video on the swimmer that I'm supposed to shoot. I've already captured it, at least, thank God, before it wasn't available anymore. So that's good. I can always make it. But you know how it is. If you do creative things, and this is creative adjacent, talking about movies on YouTube, but it's how I feed that part of myself, at least. When you get excited and interested in something like a movie, say The Swimmer, it doesn't last forever. You don't have that same oomph to talk about it as you do the week or so that you first see it. And I saw it many, many years ago, but reacquainted myself with it just recently, and I wanted to talk about it. I wanted to write about it, and I did, but you have to sort of be in that state still to deliver on it on camera. And so, I don't know, maybe I'll be able to do it, but sometimes the moment's fading, and that's just is what it is. There are a handful of videos that I've done on this channel that you never see, and so much work goes into them, but you never see because either they fizzle apart, they fall apart sometimes just in the writing, and you're lucky if it does, because, at least it's not as much wasted resources and effort as if you actually recorded it. But all the stars have to be aligned, really, to get a video over the finish line. I know there are people who will any movie comes out, they go see it and they stand up and they gesticulate and talk with a lot of excitement about it and say the bare bones about it and whether they think you should go see it or not. And that's great. I mean, I watch those guys. But if you want to think about it and posit ideas about it and really get sort of excited about those ideas sometimes, that's what we try to do anyway, on this channel, it's got to be a little bit fresh. It's got to feel a little bit fresh. And if too much time goes by, it's no longer fresh. So, I don't know. The Swimmer, I'm going to try to do it, but I can't promise. And I hear footsteps. I'll be back. Okay. She's making a giant cardboard head piece, Titan Speaker Man, and she realized that the red spots that she painted, she didn't read the thing that she opened to paint them red, and it's hair dye. So she's got hair dye everywhere and wanted to know what to do. And I told her the honest truth is I don't know. I don't know what to do. Don't do that. I think what we're going to do is see if it dries. And if it dries on the cardboard, then we're fine. If it doesn't dry, then we're going to wipe it off and try over. Okay. Where was I? One of the things I can do in little fits and starts, which is the type of time that I have at the moment, is Patreon. I've refreshed my Patreon page. And why did I do that? I did that because if you've seen these videos and you watch to the end, you see that I put up my Buy Me a Coffee site for anyone who wants to support the channel. One person became a contributing member, an ongoing monthly member on Buy Me a Coffee. And she was doing this for, I think, about 16, 18 months. Awesome. She decided for reasons that are her own that she couldn't do it anymore. And that's fine. That is totally fine. I appreciate every month that she gave to the channel. And it was just so nice. And we'll miss her. And I totally respect and understand her reasons for moving on with that donation every month. But I took it as an opportunity. I decided it was an opportunity to sort of sideline Buy Me a Coffee, which has had, as I said, limited success, and go to Patreon, which has, in those intervening years, has really fleshed out and developed the platform to the point where it feels more usable to me than when I first signed on. I have had a Patreon for years, but I just stopped posting things to it and stopped even adding my links to my videos there because it was just a wasteland. It was just dead. For me, it was dead. I know a lot of people are buying houses off Patreon, but not me. So I decided, finally, let me just flesh it out a little bit. Let me go there every day or two. Let me post some behind the scenes stuff, some off topic stuff. Now, how am I reconciling the things that people get on Patreon over the things, with the things that people get on YouTube in terms of membership? Because I don't want the awesome members that I've gained on YouTube to feel slighted or less than in any way. And that's the point of Patreon, is that you give extras to your subscribers. And in some cases, things that you can't really give to people on YouTube because it's just set up differently. So what I did was there's a $3 tier on YouTube, and it's the only tier right now. And then there's the starting tier on Patreon is $3. So they're the same. So if you're $3 a month level on Patreon or $3 a month level on YouTube, you have access to the exact same stuff, by and large, through different links, but it's the same stuff. And with the one exception of that video that got completely banned on YouTube. So please go to Patreon and check it out, and you'll see some behind the scenes stuff. You'll see some stuff from a personal channel that I posted on a personal channel a while ago, and then decided not to go through with it anymore because I don't have enough time for this channel, A. And then B, I was talking about my time in the film industry for 24 years, and I thought that would be interesting enough for, to get a channel rolling, and nobody cared. So, that's, you try and then it doesn't take, and what are you going to do? But the writing was on the wall that I can't put time and energy into this. Nobody cares. But it's still interesting to a certain set of people who are interested in this sort of thing. So those videos went up as Patreon videos as well that people here on YouTube can see and people on Patreon can see. I wanted to briefly touch on my interview with Anthony Lucero, the director of the Paper Bag Plan. If you haven't seen that video, I'm kind of proud that I was able to have an interview over, a country away with somebody, half a country away with somebody, and pull it off technically and edit it together and have it look and sound pretty good. And very interesting topic, and I hope Anthony's doing well, and I hope the Paper Bag Plan, or Paper Bag Plan as it's called now, is doing gangbusters business. But if you're not aware of the interview that we did, it's about a half-hour interview. It's gotten a bunch of views, but not as many as my reviews on Paper Bag Plan have gotten. So I think it's still sort of unknown. So if you're interested in talking to a filmmaker, director of the Paper Bag Plan, who also made East Side Sushi and is got other projects in the works, go watch that video. I just wanted to plug it a little bit because it hasn't quite gotten the views that my reviews of his work have gotten. So I know there's an audience for his stuff and for me talking about his stuff, arguably. But that video is just sort of squeaking by. So go check that out. I think it's pretty interesting. And I wanted to, there is a thing that people are curious about sometimes, and they ask me about, and it's in the background. It's this guy right here. And recently, one of our members, our new members, is the guy who made that. His name's Blair Clark. So thank you, Blair Clark. You're out there. Blair is a hell of a guy, and I worked with him for many years at Tippett Studio with Phil Tippett and the whole visual effects realm of filmmaking. And Blair Clark is one of the few old school guys who can use a lathe and a mill, and I'm not going to pretend I know all the tools, but who made stop motion armatures for people like Phil Tippett at one point in his career, and could make them right. And when I got this, this was a, let me go get it. This was a Secret Santa gift my first year at Tippett Studio. And Phil Tippett was pissed that I got it, some new guy he didn't know, and not him. He got some other thing that he badmouthed, and, he was like, I got this, and then he felt well deserving of what I got, and I was frankly a little scared to have the boss angry at me for getting this wonderful gift. So let me go show it to you. If you can see that, this is just a fantastic piece of work. Now, it's a sculpture, it's a piece of art, but it incorporates real stop motion armatures. This is what would be inside the maquette, inside the model, if you will, that they animate, frame by frame, You would see a guy like the Imperial Walkers, they would do, a frame, leave, a frame. Usually the organic, the creature type maquettes have these armatures inside, and they're built to such a high tolerance that you can do just little micro movements and they stay. And that's why you really need to know what you're doing to make this. Each little part machined from scratch of aluminum, I think. There's probably some copper. There's all kinds of stuff in here. Blair has taken it back a couple of times while I worked with him still over the years to do maintenance on it and polish it up. And he did a photo shoot with it. I think it's actually his profile picture on some of his socials. And here you can see that. Here, whoop. You can see it says, whoop, upside down, Tom. Good thing I got my new glasses on. Blair, 1999. Right there. Blair, 1999. Blair Clark. And then Blair was sweet enough to become a member recently, I think through the Anthony Lucero interview video, because we all worked together at Tippett Studio for years, and he probably caught wind of that through the keyword Tippett. and came on and watched that video and then became a paying member. And, you know, that's heartwarming to get this. And then for him to become a member, it's really heartwarming. So thank you, Blair, if you see this. I'm still touched every time I see this. And it will very likely, I'm not sure, will very likely always be on the set back there, in a place of honor, because it's one of my prized possessions. And sorry, Phil. Sorry, Phil. You can't win them all. Okay, I just had to switch SD cards because the camera ran out. I didn't realize it, but it ran out at the best possible moment. I got my last sentence out, and it just went kablooey. But I'm going to take that as a sign that this is getting long enough for a channel update. It is summer. It's July. My daughter is largely home. I am largely on tap to take care of her. I am trying to do that video on the swimmer. I might get to it. I am fleshing out the Patreon page. If you want to support this channel, you know, things like SD cards, I don't know if you know this, but because of data centers eating up all the inventory of flash memory, the card that goes in your camera that I record on, or the discs that you record on your recorder, have doubled, tripled, and sometimes quadrupled in price. So if I would spend $100 on a high capacity SD card, the little card that goes in your camera, sometimes I get a terabyte one. And sometimes you can get it, sometimes you can get a flash drive, an SSD, for your recorder for $100. And I'm talking like a year or two ago. Now, the same drive is $300, $400. I'm not buying another disc. I'm not buying another card ever for the time being. I just spent 2 days moving files around to make space on the cards that I have so I could continue to do this channel. So that's just one of the costs that go into doing YouTube. And if you want to support this sort of thing, great. You don't have to. I'm going to do it anyway. I will just spend days moving data around and erasing old videos and things. But it takes time and effort. It makes it harder. If you want to support this sort of thing, go to the Patreon page and pledge at one of the higher tiers that puts a dent in that sort of cost. I'd appreciate it. There's even a tier where you get a shirt. I worked it out that I crunched the numbers, and if you stay at that tier for a couple of months, I think it is, on the third month, I'll send you a shirt. You send me your size, I'll send you a shirt. And win-win. You get something for your trouble. Go check it out. See if it appeals to you. If it doesn't appeal to you, don't worry about it. But I'd love it if we could get the Patreon thing going. It would really just make my day. Okay, that's enough from me today. I hope your summer is off to a great start. I hope you had a great 4th of July. And watch for the swimmer video, hopefully coming in the next couple of weeks. All right, take care.